Knees might be bent, the feet can be wide, and the knees knock in towards one another. And begin to come to the breath. Let the breath energize this pose. The oxygen comes into the lungs, and then the body does a bunch of stuff and distributes it out into our blood, our muscles, our organs. I'm sure somebody knows what that process is exactly. But it's amazing that we don't even have to know for it to happen. In this soft pose here, notice any areas of the body that might be holding tension. And see if there is permission to soften anywhere that might be holding anything. You've arrived on your mat. The showing up part has already happened. Hug the knees into the chest. Give a squeeze. Press tailbone to the earth. Rock side to side. Can the breath get bigger here as the body gets more compact? Draw some circles with the knees. Move in one direction and then the other. Notice the muscles of the face. Can they stay nice and soft through the practice? Keep the right knee in, plant the left foot on the floor, interlace hands behind the right hamstring as you press the heel towards the sky. The knee may stay bent here, depends on the flexibility of the back of the leg. We're not jamming into it, we're allowing it to soften and open in its own time. Feel the outer hip on the right side as it rolls forward, creating more space through the waist. Point the toes, flex the foot, roll the ankle. You might extend the left leg, and if you do, it's active. All 5 toes on the left foot point towards the sky. The outer hips hug. The right hamstring you can feel as it presses against the hands, and the hands gently resist back towards the head. The belly pulls towards the mat. As you press the low back down onto the earth by engaging through the core, begin to peel the heart up towards the sky. Notice if the chin is moving towards the chest, and instead give it a little lift towards the sky so there's length on all 4 sides of the neck. And then maybe if the left leg is extended, it floats. And then maybe the hands can float beside the hips. Heart is lifting. Core is very active here. You could even have hands behind the head if the neck is feeling a little overworked there. And then lower down, hug the knee in, open the right hip to the side. The knee opens like a gate. Soften the outer hip. Let the left leg soften as well. Bring the knee back through center. And over towards the left, coming into a twist. You can stack the left knee under the right if you like, or you can keep the left leg extended in front of you. And come back through center. Hug both knees in towards the chest. Gentle rock side to side. Keep the left knee in, plant the right foot on the floor. Interlace hands behind the left hamstring and draw the heel towards the sky. Breathe into the back of the leg. As you reach up through the left heel, feel the back of the left hip seal towards the earth. Where can I soften? Point the toes, flex the foot, roll the ankle. You might extend the right leg long. If you do, it's engaged. Press up through the left heel. Belly to spine. Outer hips hug. Heart lifts towards the sky. Trying to get the shoulder blades off the mat. Maybe the right leg floats as well. Long neck. Maybe the hands float. Keep pressing the low back onto the earth. Active legs. Can you lift a little bit higher? And lower down, hug the knee in. Open the left knee out to the side, softening the hip, the groin, the right leg. Through much of our lives, through much of society's life, there is this push energy. There's this, get it done, fix it, figure it out kind of energy. And today we're really activating more of this softening energy. Yes, we will be doing strength poses and moving through a difficult sequence, but all throughout, can we keep in mind the ability to soften through the difficulty, allowing ourselves to access more wisdom, more creativity, more consciousness. Bring the knee through center and over towards the right, coming into a twist. Knees could stack here. What happens as we soften through the difficulty? What do we create for ourselves? Come back through center. Hug both knees in, rock side to side. Stack knees over hips, shins parallel to the earth, feet flexed, belly to spine. Place hands on top of the thighs. Press the thighs away. Keep pulling the low belly towards the earth. It's a lot. So the hands and the thighs are pressing against each other. The thighs are pressing up towards the head. The hands are pressing down towards the front of the mat. Really active through the core. And then release that. Belly to spine, hands behind the head. Feet stay flexed. Lift head and heart up towards the sky. Extend the right leg out, maybe tap the heel. Bring the knee back over the hip. Extend the left leg out, tap the heel. Bring the knee back over the hip. If this is plenty, stay with that. Otherwise, you might extend both legs long so the heels are over the hips. and lowering right leg and lifting left side. So we're just moving right to left. Knees are either bent or straight. The belly is pulling to the earth. The neck is nice and long. And we're trying to get the shoulder blades off the mat as we seal the low back towards the earth. Where can I soften, even though this is difficult and I'm building strength? Once more each side, end on the left. And then hug the knees in, rock forward and back. Let's come up and over onto hands and knees. And right away, dip the chest forward, tailbone up to the sky, stretch the front body. In this cow pose, as you root down into the hands, imagine you could scrub them back. That'll help stretch more through the front body. And then let's round the spine, press into the hands, dome the upper back, zip belly up and in. Press the hands into the earth and the shoulder blades away from one another. Come through tabletop. Tuck the toes. Begin to walk the hands back as you sink the hips back. So we're going to walk the hands as far back as we can. Maybe onto thighs. Maybe the torso comes upright. This might be really confronting. Just be with it for a breath or two, and if it's too much, you can uncurl the toes. Eyes closed. Where can I soften? Can I soften the brain a bit? Come back through tabletop. A soft gaze towards the front of the mat. Hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Step the right foot back, press through the heel. Soft bend to the elbows as they scoop, press into the left shin. Take a peek back that the left hip lines up over the left knee, and as you float the right leg, the left hip doesn't scoot out to the left. It stays right over the knee. The belly is up and in. The tailbone is reaching towards the heel. Float the left hand forward. We're here with the breath. We're present with the body. Can I soften my face? Can I soften my shoulders? My fingers? Lower hand and knee to earth. Tip heart up towards the sky cow. Round through the spine cat. Tabletop. Step the left foot back. Press through the heel. Notice if the pinky toe is rolling off the mat. Seal it down to the earth as the inner thigh rolls to the sky. Soft bend to the elbows and they're scooping to the midline. Press into the right shin. Take a peek back at your right hip. It stays over the right knee as you float the left leg to the height of the hip. Belly engaged. Front ribs hugging to back body. Breathing. And maybe floating the right hand forward. Palm facing the midline of the mat. Or maybe scooping even towards the sky. Shoulder away from ear, shoulder blade firmly on the back. Breath, smooth and soft. Mind soft. Lower hand and knee to the earth. Heart lifts, cow. Exhale, cat. Tabletop. Step the right foot back. Press through the heel. Inner thigh rolls to the sky. Belly up and in. Outer hips hug. Step the left foot back. Heels reaching back. Inner thigh spiraling up. Soft bend to the elbows as they scoop, full plank. And if you'd like to lower the knees, you're welcome to for a modified plank. but the belly stays engaged. The elbow stays scooping. We stay with the breath. Heavy on the inseam of the hand, the thumb and index rooting to the earth. And then wherever you are, press the hips up and back, down dog. As we find our alignment in downward facing dog, working from our base, hands and feet, press thumb and index to the earth, try and get a little lighter on the pinky edge, heel of the hand. Soft bend to the elbows as they scoop in. Shoulder blades firmly on the back, shoulders away from ears. Long side waist, front ribs to back body. Hips up and back. Softness to the knees, inner thighs spiraling towards the back of the mat so the heels line up behind the second and third toe. Downward facing dog. And as you find the alignment, where can you soften here? What's working that doesn't need to work? Inhale, float forward, plank. Exhale, down dog. Similar alignments here in plank and down dog. Inhale, plank. Just noticing, exhale, dog. Letting it be an exploration, be curious. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Walk the hands back halfway, middle of the mat. A shortened dog, knees can be very bent here. Press the hips up and back. Walk the hands all the way to the back of the mat. Let the head hang. Maybe move it from side to side, some circular motions one way and the other. And then just allow it to surrender towards the earth, spilling open. Grab a hold of either elbow. And as you do this and root down into the feet evenly, the inner thighs continue to spiral back just like downward facing dog. The outer hips hug. The backs of the legs are invited to open and soften. Releasing maybe the low back a bit more here. Release the arms. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. And draw the hands to heart center, Tadasana. Pause with eyes closed. Feel the weight in the feet. As you root down, pressing into the feet, feel the energy rise up through the legs as they engage. Release the hands. Tadasana. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, lead with the heart. Inhale, the heart lifts, flat back. Exhale, walking hands out to downward facing dog. Float forward through plank, either knees lifted or lowered. Come all the way onto your bellies. Hands line up with the chest, tops of the feet root to the earth. Belly zips up and in as you press the pelvis down. Inhale, lift, cobra. Exhale, lower. Walk the hands out, so further than the edges of the mat. Come up onto fingertips like you have a tennis ball underneath them. Press the pelvis, press the tops of the feet, active legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep undulating here with the breath, with the spine. You might get a little higher, but keep engaged through the core. Protect the low back. And the next time you land, walk the hands back in beside the chest. Press tops of the feet. Now you have options here to either go through cobra or up dog. If you know that for your back, cobra is the way to go there. Otherwise, I'm going to be teaching up dog in stages here. Press into the hands, press into tops of the feet. belly pulling up and in. As you root into the hands, begin to lift the heart. Keep the back of the neck long instead of crunching into the back of the neck. Keep pressing down into the tops of the feet. As the inner thighs spiral, the legs lift off the mat. We're up on the tops of the feet. The shoulder blades roll back. Belly is pulling up and in. As you're lifting the core, it's lifting the frontal hip points. Press the heart forward. And then using the core, lift the hips up and back, tucking toes, downward facing dog. There's a lot that goes into up dog. And we want to make sure that we have proper alignment to protect our low back. Because if we go soft in the wrong places in a pose, well, then we could cause injury. And so that's why it's important to build that intimate relationship with your body. That's the usefulness of learning the alignments, listening to the cues. Smooth breath. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look through to the hands, step feet to hands. Heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms, gather up some sky, draw it down through heart center. Sweep the arms, inhale. Dive forward, exhale. Flat back, Arda Uttanasana. Plant the hands, step back, plank. Let's roll through a vinyasa, lower to the earth or through to up dog, downward facing dog. So your options there are lowering with knees on the earth or legs lifted. Options of cobra or down or up dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Bend the knee, open the hip. Keep the chest square to the earth. Keep reaching through that left hip up and back as you press the right knee to the upper corner of the room, if you're in a room. Extend the right leg, square the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Look forward. Step the foot through. Lower the back, knee down. Walk the hands to the inside of the foot. Let the hips sink for a breath or two. Let the front of the left hip soften. Let the breath move the pose. Invite the softening. Take the right hand onto right knee, twist. Gaze up towards the sky, past the right shoulder. Sweep the right arm up. Exhale, hand to the earth. Frame the foot, pull the hips back. Arda Hanumanasana, half split. Rebend the knee, plant the foot, lift the heart in this low lunge. Exhale, pull the hips back. Keep moving with the breath. A little seesawing. Exhale, pulls the hips back. Inhale, brings it forward, lifts the heart. Plant the foot on the next round. Tuck the toes, straighten the back leg. With so much control, step the right foot to the back of the mat in plank. Knees lifted or lowered. Lower through chaturanga, maybe all the way to the earth. Cobra or upward facing dog. Hips up and back. Down dog. Find your alignment in down dog. Left leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip. Feel the right hip, pull it up and back. Keep the scoop of the elbows. Straighten the left leg, square the hips. Exhale, knee to nose. Look forward. Step foot through. Hands to the inside of the foot as the knee lowers to the earth. into the twist, left hand to knee. Is there a thought that you can soften? Is there a belief that keeps scratching the inside of the mind, directing you one way? Sweep the left arm up. Exhale, hand to the earth, frame the foot, pull the hips back. Hands can be on blocks here. Inhale, bend into the front knee, lift the heart. Exhale, sink the hips back, straighten the leg. Keep moving with the breath. Noticing differences from side to side. After this next round, plant the left foot, to the earth. Seal the hands down, tuck the back toes, straighten the back leg. Core engages so much to step back smoothly into plank pose and through a vinyasa if you choose it, or straight into down dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Step the foot in between the hands. Swivel the back heel down. So the back foot is on a slight angle. We line up heel to arch alignment, front heel to back arch. As you press into that front heel, notice if the knee is knocking in towards the midline. Hug the right hip into the midline. It acts like a lever so that it doesn't allow the knee to collapse in. And keep pressing down into that heel. Bring right elbow to knee, and then begin to twist the chest towards the left. Take your left hand onto the outer left hip, and there's a gentle roll of that hip towards the earth. As you do that, feel the right hip pull back towards the left heel. And notice the left foot. The inner arch lifts. Strong pressure to the earth towards the outer edge of the left foot. And keep the belly engaged. Maybe the top arm floats up towards the sky. And the gaze can be directly towards the left or up towards the palm. Look down at your front foot. Inhale as you press into the feet upright into Warrior Two. Once you find the pose, the legs are the same as Trikonasana. The hips are upright, so the hips are equidistant from the earth. Keep the external rotation in the front thigh, inner to outer. Outer hip hugging back and down. And the arms extending out. Shoulders away from the ears. Maybe the eyes close, or you have a soft gaze towards the front of the mat. Are the toes gripping? Can you soften there? Five more breaths here. It's a long hold. What else? The mind often decides that it's done before the body really needs to get out of it. Notice that. Begin to straighten into the front leg. Drop hands towards hips. Parallel the feet. So about a leg's distance in between your feet. Softness to your knees, hands to hips. Hug the elbows towards one another, towards the center of the back. Tailbone to the earth, lift the gaze. Inhale. Belly to spine, begin to fold forward. Over the legs. Forward fold here. Hands to the earth. Nod the head yes. Shake it side to side. Keep a softness to the knees and more weight to the ball of the foot. Hands can be on a block here. Walk the hands towards the left, all the way to the back of the mat. As the left toes point to the back of the mat, we come up onto the right toes. Notice if you're standing on a tightrope with right and left foot, walk the left foot over to the left more, right foot over to the right more so that the feet are hips distance. Press into the front heel, zip belly to spine. We're up on fingertips, long spine, strong back leg. Keep pressing into the front heel. Imagine you could drag it back as you float up into Crescent Warrior. There can be a soft bend to your back knee so that we can upright the pelvis. And we're moving towards 90 with that front knee. Another strong pose. And we investigate, where can I soften? As I breathe, woo, wobbly. Walk the left foot to the left if it is wobbly. Hug the outer hips more, belly to spine. Inhale. What softens here? Exhale. Inhale. Hands to the earth. Walk the left foot towards the right hand. So it's about the center of the mat. And then we're going to step the right foot so that the pinky toes line up with, or the pinky toe edge of the foot are next to each other. So the shins are crossed with left shin in front. Right leg straight, left knee bends, fold in. Nod the head yes, shake it side to side no. Walk the hands over towards the left. Hands can be on blocks. Come back through center. Up onto tippy toes. Begin to walk the hands over to the right. Swivel on the balls of the feet. And lower the heels to the earth once they reach toes pointing forward. Arda Uttanasana, inhale. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Step it between the hands, exhale. Swivel the back heel down, heel to arch alignment. Press into the front heel, hug the front hip in. Engage the belly. And then elbow to knee. So notice that left hip, is it kind of rolling out to the side and forward? Can you pull it back and in? That right hip has a gentle roll towards the earth that creates more space for the left hip to pull back. Open the chest to the right. Sweep the right arm up towards the sky. The breath is smooth. As you root down into that front heel, imagine you could drag it back instead of pressing it away. Ooh, maybe the gaze goes up to the hand. Keep the core engaged. Look down at your front foot. Press into the front heel, lift. Warrior two. So hands can come down to hips to situate. I certainly like to feel my body so that I can get it in the proper alignment. And as I fire up that back leg, I'm lifting the inner arch. There's a gentle roll of the back hip forward. The inner right thigh or left thigh is rolling open. The arms are engaged. The belly is engaged. The gaze is soft, or the eyes are closed. If you close your eyes, you might be able to investigate more through the body, noticing where is there tension unnecessarily. Maybe through my shoulders, maybe through my toes or fingers, my jaw. What happens in the midst of the pose? Release the hands down, straighten into the front leg. Parallel the feet. Square the hips off to the right. Bow the legs to distance in between the feet, hands to hips. Elbows hug back. Soft bend to the knees. Belly engages. We're just going to start coming out halfway. Hands can come down if that's useful, maybe on a block. Or the belly keeps hugging, 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 hugging. Maybe the arms reach back. Front body to back body. Crown of the head reaching long. And then hands to the earth, maybe to the ankles for a moment. Walk the hands over to the right. Point the right toes to the back of the mat. Frame the foot with the hands. And then situate the left foot so that it is about hips distance from the right foot. Press into the right heel. Try and keep your back foot heel high. Belly up and in. Press into that front heel as you begin to peel the chest up. Hands can be on hips. Let's situate. Back knee can bend. So the back knee, notice here, as I bend my back knee, I can lift my frontal hip points. Maybe the hands float. Here we are in Crescent Warrior. The outer hips keep hugging. The belly engages. Are the right toes gripping? Can you soften there? Is there some messaging happening in the head? Can you soften there? Can you simply be with the experience? One more breath in. Slowly, hands to the earth. Walk the right foot towards the center of the mat, over to the left. Step the left foot so that it crosses behind the right. Pinky edge of the foot touching. Bend the right knee, straighten the left leg, hang. Hands can be on blocks. Maybe walking the hands over towards the right. Back through center. Come up onto the toes, on the balls of the feet, and then walk the hands more to the left as you swivel on the balls of the feet until the toes point forward and the heels land. And make sure that you have proper alignment with the feet so the heels line up behind second and third toe. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. Draw the hands to heart center. Short walk to the top of the mat. Tadasana. Eyes closed. What do you notice? What parts of the body are soft here? What parts are holding tension? Float the arms, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Heart lifts, inhale. Plant the hands, step back. Vinyasa if you choose it. Keep them clean if you're choosing them. Otherwise, down dog is waiting for us. Right leg lifts, inhale. Step the foot through to the hands. Swivel the back heel down. Elbow to knee, Trikonasana with top arms scooping overhead. And then up to Warrior 2. And straighten into the front leg. As you straighten to this front leg, have a soft bend in the knee. We're moving towards Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keeping a soft bend in that knee, but keeping also the external rotation, inner thigh to outer hip pulling back. Extend the arms out. Actually, take your left hand onto your left hip. Extend the right hand out. Reach with the right fingertips over the right toes. And feel this right hip pull back and down towards the left heel. Hand can land on shin, maybe more towards the earth. If it lands on the earth or on a block, have it outside of the leg. And then twist the chest towards the left side. With the left hand on the hip, take the back of the hand to the small of the back. That might be plenty. You might be able to work it over towards the right hip, maybe the top of the thigh for a half bind. Keep rolling the shoulder open. So instead of collapsing the chest towards the earth, we want it to roll towards the left, even the left side of the chest trying to point it towards the sky. Notice the back leg. And you can keep your hand down or you might float it. Maybe you've got a little extra energy you'd like to engage. Belly to spine. How do you soften here? This is a difficult pose. How do you soften in it? Looking down at the front foot. We're going to bend into the front knee. Keep the bind. Maybe hand is at the small of the back. Up and back into reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, release the bind. Cartwheel the hands to the earth. Step back into downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg. Step the foot through between the hands. Swivel the back heel down. Keep the front knee at 90, elbow to knee. Sukhasana, top arm scooping overhead. Look down at the front foot. Come up, warrior two. Just briefly, as we straighten to the front leg, keeping a soft bend in the front knee, you can drop arms. Inner left thigh, keep it rolling open. Pull that left hip back. Right hand to right hip. Reach left arm out. Reach, 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 reach. As you reach, you're lengthening the side waist. We're not collapsing into it. Keep pulling the left hip back. Hand to shin or block. And then chest spins towards the right. So there's still this slight curve of the right hip towards the earth, ever so slightly. It's following the same angle as the back toes. Top arm is not a top arm yet. Back of the hand on the right side to the small of the back. Maybe you can reach towards the inner thigh or top of the thigh for a bind. Belly to spine. Keep length through that side waist and maybe that lower hand floats. But keep that soft bend in that front knee. There's a tendency to lock it out, which is easier maybe on the muscles, but not great for the ligaments. Or can you soften? Look down. Begin to bend into the front knee. Lift the frontal hip points back and up into reverse warrior. And then up and over. Hands to the earth. A final vinyasa opportunity right here if you'd like it. You might add another chaturanga even in it at the back end. Down dog. Knees to the earth. Big toes touch. Hips sink back into child's pose. Really soften here. Rock the head from side to side. Soften that brow. Massaging it against the earth. Begin to lift. Bring the legs in front of you. Crossing right shin in front of left. So, if the hips are really tight, it's nice to sit up on a block. So if the knees are way up here, lifting your seat will help them to lower some. We are trying to move the knees closer closer to each other and the feet away so that the feet are on the outer edges of the knees. Maybe it's just the direction. Sit up on the sit bones, shift side to side, front to back, find the center. This is called Sukhasana, easy seated pose, but it's not easy in all bodies, certainly. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, fold forward any amount. Hands land on the earth. They might land just in front of the shin, or you could walk them out any amount. Let the head hang wherever you land. Let every exhale be an opportunity to soften a bit more through the body, through the hips, through the face, through the back body. Slowly crawl back up. Switch sides. Left shin in front of right. Float the arms. Fold over the shins. You might shift a bit side to side as you surrender in. What's the mind doing? Can you soften it? As you soften the mind to simply be awareness, conscious awareness, what can you notice through your senses? Tapping into that conscious awareness is such a powerful practice. As you do that, judgment drops away. The push energy drops away. The need to be bigger, better, best drops away. And crawl back up through center. Swing the legs in front of you. Tadasana. If you're on a block, you could stay there. If the backs of the legs feel very tight, you could bend the knees gently. In fact, let's all bend the knees at least a little bit. Move the flesh out from under the sit bones. Float the arms up. And then fold over, trying to get the belly to lay on the thighs. Hands on shins, ankles, or feet. And then as the pose softens, as the body opens, maybe the heels walk away from you any amount. Bring yourself up through center. Scoot hips towards heels and lower onto your back. Take the feet wide. Windshield wipe the knees from side to side. Arms can cactus or be out to the side like a T. Knees stay to the right. knees come over to the left. Back through center. Hug the knees in. Extend the legs towards the sky. You can hold behind the hamstrings. Hug the knees towards the chest. Let the knees fall towards the right. Scoot the hips to the left. You could look out over the left shoulder if that feels okay on the neck. Come back through center. Scoot the hips over towards the right and the knees come to the left. And the gaze can go towards the right. Come back through center. Hug the knees in and come into happy baby. Hands can be behind the hamstrings as the soles of the feet lift towards the sky, open towards the sky. You might hold the shins, fronts of the shins or ankles, maybe the edges of the feet. Release the feet. Release the legs. Set yourself up in any shape for Shavasana. Eyes gently close. Deep breath in. Full breath out the mouth. Invite the whole body to soften, starting at the soles of the feet. Working your way up through the legs, the calves, the knees, the thighs. The pelvis softens, the hips, the low back. Releasing through the belly, up through the solar plexus, the ribs, front body and back body. Everything opening, softening through the chest, upper back, shoulders, and out through the arms, right upper arm, left upper arm, both of the forearms, softening through the palms and out through the fingers. The back of the head is soft, the scalp, the face, the tongue, the eyes. You allow yourself to fully bask in this deep softening. touching thumb to every pad of the other 4 fingers. Wiggle the toes. Point the toes, flex the feet, sweep the arms up and overhead. Reach long through the body. And then bend the knees towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock forward and back along the spine, or roll over onto side to press yourself into a seat. With eyes gently closed, finding yourself seated here. Place one hand onto the heart and one hand onto the belly. Checking in, where can I soften in my life off the mat? Where can I bring a little bit more of this ease and peace? So that I have more access to my wisdom, creativity, deep knowing. Hands together in prayer, heart lifting, head bowing. Shanti, peace. Happy softening.